Hey guys, and welcome to Learning Plan 2. I know you guys know that I have been a little bit under the weather this week. You know, I love working with the public and seeing people, and gosh, well, I probably see 100, 150 people a day, not including employees. But when you're out in the public like that, you tend to catch every little thing that goes around. So thanks you guys for being patient. Um, let's go ahead and get into this learning plan. So the overview is going to focus on one of the four functions of management planning. The planning function is the basis for nearly all management activities, and the goals for the organization are developed during planning. Additionally, many times planning involves changing an organization's direction. And an essential part of change, management needs to prepare for resistance to change. So this is a learning plan that I'm going to be really passionate about. As most of you know, that my dissertation was actually on change management, and most of my research during my doctoral journey was in change management. So the activities and assignments for this week's learning plan, excuse the little spelling boo-boo, you're going to identify the differences between strategic, operational, and tactical plans to the use of a strategy map. So you're going to view the LP2 seminar, which is what you're doing now, and I'll assign the assessment at the end. You're going to participate in discussion 2.1, competitive strategy, and participate in discussion 2.2. You're going to complete LP2.1 assignment on SWOT analysis, and then complete the L2.2 assignment, current events, and we're going to review those too. So discussion 2.1, many of you have already started using Porter's competitive strategies. How would you describe the strategies of Walmart, Macy's, and Target? Select one other company that you frequent and identify its competitive strategy. Why do you choose to go there versus a competitor? So using your textbook, the NAU online library, and peer-reviewed journal articles, and other professional, cite at least 2 scholarly and professional sources. Your answers should be a minimum of a 250 word. And guys, again, look at the grading rubric. That's what we look for. And make sure that even in discussions, you cite your sources, which means if you put something in there, whether it's a definition, a thought, if it is not your original idea, if you have read it somewhere, you have got to cite the source. Okay? So discussion 2.2 talks about, you're going to discuss the advantages and disadvantages to using computer technology for managerial decision making. Identify and discuss one decision, personally or professional, you have utilized technology for forming your decision and why. So again, using your textbook and other sources, have at least 2 scholarly and professional sources. And again, guys, remember to look at the discussion rubric, the grading rubric, and cite your sources. So your first assignment, the 2.1 assignment on SWOT analysis, you're going to formulating strategy begins with the understanding of the forces that impact the organization. For this, many organizations begin the planning process with a SWOT analysis, which is strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threat. Select a well-known eating establishment, Ideas or Starbucks, Olive Garden, Mickey D's, to conduct your SWOT analysis. In that analysis, you need to include a statement of what you believe to be the company's current strategy. From the consumer's perspective, a list of key strengths and key weaknesses. From your perspective, a list of potential opportunities and threats, and a goal based on your SWOT findings to recommend where the company could be in 2 years in terms of growth, size, expansions on customer base, and all that. What steps do you recommend to achieve this goal? This assignment is worth 50 points. Should be uploaded to LP2.1 assignment in the Dropbox. And of course, again, guys, look at the assignment grading rubric. We grade strictly by that. So your assignment 2.2 is current events number 1. So current events are important events that are happening in the world concerning people, places, things, and ideas. Watch or read the news this week to select a story that portrays leadership or a leader, either famous or not. It may be local, national, or international story that makes you think about leadership theories, concepts, skills, or traits. So you want to include, what the headline of the story actually is. You're going to discuss the effectiveness of the headline and summarizing the story and grabbing your attention as the article relates to leadership. Briefly describe the factual content of the story related to who, what, when, and where, how, and why, and overall how it relates to leadership theories, concepts, skills, or traits. Discerning fake news. Discuss the accuracy of the facts used in the story. How do you know that the source used were reliable and accurate? Provide examples and or supporting resources. So you're just going to summarize this article in a 500 to 700 word paper. Please use APA format. Again, cite your sources and look at the grading rubric, and you're going to upload this to the Dropbox titled 2.2. Oh, and let me say this, Turnitin should be automatic. So let me go back right here. When you submit to Turnitin, unless I had a couple of problems, it wasn't set. The date was actually not set right. So if you guys submit a paper and you do not get a Turnitin report that you can look at, please let me know. Okay, and then this assignment. All right, this is another 2-2 assignment, and this is one that's going to be an outline. So in LP5, you're going to be analyzing a case study. So go ahead and read that case study and the assignment instructions this week. You're going to create an outline for the paper. So you want to include a thesis statement, sometimes called a problem statement, have at least 3 levels, and utilize descriptive phrases or full sentences. In other words, I should be able to understand where you're going with the paper from just the outline. And guys, in your classroom, all this stuff's in your classroom. Click on the example outline, because I find a lot of times students will do outlines. They do not include the thesis or the problem statement, and you need to do that. So check out again the grading rubric, and you're going to post that to the 2-2 outline. So SWOT analysis, this is just a little overview. Most of you guys know it's strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And SWOT serves as a building block for strategic planning. So when we look at things, you're going to establish objectives. Planning requires a systematic approach. Planning starts with the setting of goals and objectives to be achieved. Objectives provide a rationale for undertaking various activities as well as indicate the direction of the efforts. Objectives focus on the attention of managers on the end results to be achieved. Objectives provide a nucleus to the planning process. And as far as possible, objectives should be stated in quantitative terms. For example, number of men working, wages given, units produced, etc., those kind of things. So goals should be specified in qualitative terms. Hence, objectives should be practical, acceptable, workable, and achievable. And these are just some, I'll tell you guys where I got this stuff from. So planning, their assumptions about the likely shape of events in the future. They serve as the basis of planning when you talk about planning premises. Establishment of planning premises is concerned with determining where one tends to deviate from the actual plans and causes of such deviations. It is to find out what obstacles are in the way of business during the course of operation. So the establishment of planning premises is concerned to take such steps that avoids these obstacles to a great extent. When I look at this, I think about bottlenecks as one of the things I think about. So these premises may be internal or external. Internal includes capital investment policies, management, labor relations, philosophy of management, etc. Whereas the external includes socioeconomic, political, economical changes. So internal premises are controllable, whereas external are non-controllable. So you also have a choice of alternate courses of action. When forecasts are available and premises are established, a number of alternative course of actions have to be considered. For this purpose, each and every alternative will be evaluated by weighing its pros and cons in the light of the resources available and the requirements of the organization. The merits, demerits, as well as the consequences of each alternative must be examined before the choice is made. After objective and scientific evaluations, the best alternative is chosen. The planners should take help of various quantitative techniques to judge the stability of the alternative. So you also want a formulation of a different set of plans. These are sub-plans or secondary plans which help in the achievement of the main plan. So we always hear people say have plan A, plan B, or a backup plan. You need that in strategy as well. So secondary plans will flow from the basic plan. These are meant to support and expedite the achievement of the basic plans. These detailed plans include policies, procedures, rules, program, budgets, schedules. For example, if profit maximization is the main goal of the organization, these plans will include sales maximizations, production maximizations, and cost minimizations. So these plans indicate the time schedule and the sequence of accomplishing the various tasks. Okay, and after the plans have been determined, it is necessarily rather advisable to take subordinates or those who have to implement these plans into confidence. The purpose behind taking them into confidence are subordinates may feel motivated since they are involved in the decision-making process. The organization may be able to get valuable suggestions and improvement in formalizations as well as implementation of the plans, and also the employees will be more interested in the execution of these plans. So follow up and appraisal of plans. And I know this is a lot, guy, and you can see where I got this, the managementstudyguide.com planning function. So it will help you to go and review these and read these in a little bit more depth because I've just picked out, little topics. So after choosing a particular course of action, it is put into action. After the selected plan is implemented, it is important to appraise its effectiveness. This is done on the basis of feedback or information received from departments or persons concerned. This also enables the management to correct deviations or modify the plans. This step establishes a link between planning and the controlling function. The follow-up must go side by side in the implementation of plans so that in light of the observations made, future plans can be made more realistic. And again, this was pulled from Management Study Guide. And the Management Study Guide is a really good tool for you guys to use, especially in these topics. So let's go into why do people resist change? Well, the obvious is the fear of the unknown or surprise. This type of resistance occurs mainly when change is implemented without warning the affected stakeholders before the change occurs. So, this kind of goes back into communication and kind of getting your people to buy into things. I know what we do is anytime we're thinking about implementing a change, we begin the planning phase early on and discuss it with our leaders in here so that everybody's kind of aware and everybody's vested and kind of buy into it. So, like my dissertation found, when you communicate, communication helps reduce the level of resistance. Mistrust. This is a good one. If individuals in a department highly respect their manager or leader because the manager has built trust over a period of time, the team will be more accepting to the changes. So, this is kind of a no-brainer here. The other is loss of job security and control. This type of resistance often occurs when companies announce they will be restructuring or downsizing. This causes fear among employees that they'll lose their jobs or be moved into other positions without their input. And why do people resist change? A lot of it's bad timing. Timing's everything kind of thing. And too much change at one point in time or over a short period of time, let me say that, can cause a little bit of resistance. When you implement change, timing is everything pretty much. And it's also an individual's predisposition toward a change. Differences exist in people's overall tolerance for change. Some people enjoy change because it provides them with the opportunity to learn new things and grow personally and professionally. Others, sorry for the typo, change may prefer a set routine. And I can tell you just in my experience, and I think I said this in one of our discussions, that the people who have been in the organization longer and tend to be a little bit older are usually what I find to be more resistant to a change because this is the way we've always done it. But in my opinion, the way we've always done it is one of the most expensive phrases in a business because, change is good. It's just a matter of you being an effective leader and a manager and communicating that change. So again, guys, this was retrieved from Forbes.com. Forbes is actually a very, very good tool for you guys to use as well. So, and I wanted to include this. Kotter has an eight-step change model, and it's really good. I actually use this in my dissertation. Step one is create urgency. You identify potential threats and develop scenarios showing what could happen in the future. You examine opportunities that should or could be exploited. You start honest discussions and give dynamic and convincing reasons to get people talking and thinking. You request support from customers, outside stakeholders, and industry people to strengthen your argument. Step two is you form a powerful coalition. Identify true leaders in your organizations as well as your key stakeholders. Ask for an emotional commitment from these key people. Work on team building within your change coalition. Check for your team's weak areas and ensure that you have a good mix of people from different departments and different levels within your company. And that is what we do here. I have several different departments in the treasurer's office, and we have a lot of responsibilities. We have a delinquent side, we have an accounting side, we have a current collection side. So I take those group of people, at least two from each department, and that is where we come up with our brainstorming ideas and change and processes and implementations. So this is a really good idea. You also want to create a vision for change. You want to determine the values that are vital to the change. You want to develop a short summary, just 1 or 2 sentences that captures what you see as the future of your organization. You're going to create a strategy to execute the vision. You're going to ensure that your change coalition can describe the vision in 5 minutes or less, and practice your vision speech often. So communicate the vision. Talk often about your change vision. Address people's concern and anxieties openly and honestly. Apply your vision to all aspects of the operations, from training to performance reviews. Tie everything back to the vision. And of course, we hear this every day: you lead by example. And I can tell you that this is one of my strengths, because I know every process, from the person taking the payments at the window to the people who are doing the GL reports on month end. I get involved with it. I know about it. So when things come up, or policies need to be changed, or change needs to be implemented, I'm at least aware of every function of this office. So you want to remove obstacles as well. You want to identify or hire change leaders whose main role are to deliver change. You want to look at your organizational structure, your job descriptions, and performance and compensation systems to ensure they're in line with your vision. Now, that's a little harder for me because I'm in the government sector. So anyway, I'm sure most of y'all can identify with that. So you want to recognize and reward people for making change happen. You want to also identify the people who are resisting the change and help them see what's needed. You take action quickly to remove barriers, human or otherwise. And you want to create short-term wins. Look for surefire projects that you can implement without any help from any strong critics of change. Don't choose early targets that are expensive. You want to be able to justify investment in each project. Excuse me. You want to thoroughly analyze the potential pros and cons of your targets. If you don't succeed with an early goal, it can hurt your entire change initiative. And reward people who meet goals and targets. Step 7, you want to build on the change. After every win, analyze what went right and what needs improving. You want to learn about continuous improvement. Keep ideas fresh by bringing in new change agents and leaders for your change coalition. Set goals to continue building on each achievement. And then you want to anchor the changes in corporate culture. You want to talk about progress every chance you get. Tell success stories about the change process, and repeat other stories that you hear. You want to include the change ideals and values when hiring and training new staff. You want to publicly recognize key members of your original change coalition and make sure that the rest of the staff, new and old, remember their contributions. You want to create plans to replace key leaders of change as they move on. This will help ensure their legacy is not lost or forgotten. So I retrieved this from theMindTools.com, and like I said, it was Kotter's 8-step, and I used it in my dissertation. So it's a pretty good tool. So in conclusion, again, guys, make sure you use smart thinking. Please read all the assigned chapters in the textbook or any exercises that are given in the assignments. They're all there to help you. And if you experience any difficulty using the library, please ask the librarian, because they do want to help you. So for this seminar assessment, what I thought I would do is, let's just do a brief summary and/or example of change initiatives and resistance in your own organization. Just talk about, it could be a simple change like a policy change, or, operating hour change. Just anything, and talk about if there was any resistance, or talk about, if everybody bought into it, why they bought into it. And just make it short and simple, 500 words or less. And guys, keep up the great work. You're doing a great job. Thanks.